So where we stopped in the last session? The last session what we discussed. We discussed about the JSON, all these questions, right? And the next one is like about the inheritance we discussed, I guess. Okay. So tell me. How to handle inheritance? Handle inheritance in functional classes. How to handle inheritance in functional classes. Okay. Why we go for? We go for inheritance. Why we go for inheritance? This is the 11th one and this is the 12th one. Next. Come on. Why we go for inheritance? Now the next one is like how we can view or see the inherited members of a class. How we can see the inherited members of a class. Okay, no? The next one. How to handle inheritance? How many ways can handle inheritance in a class keyword classes? How many ways we can handle the inheritance? Okay, next. Is there any other? Is there another thing we discussed? No? Okay then. So tell me the first one. How we can handle the inheritance, when we can go with the inheritance. First, when you can go with the inheritance. The next one is like, what is inheritance also they may ask. Okay, why we go for inheritance? Okay, when exactly it is required. When exactly required. Okay, now tell me the first one. I have a class function. Yeah, I have a class. This is my class. If I write like this dot, okay, var obj equals to new app obj.n1. What is the value? Inside this particular object, obj is an object of which class? App class. Inside that app class, n1 is there or not there? Not there. Okay,
Not
so
there.
answer is like what? Undefined.
Undefined.
Output should be 100. So this class is not having the n1 variable, but my output should be like 100, means this class requires n1 variable or not from outside. So one class, how it can get the variables and methods from outside? Through inheritance or not. So if it is like a functional class, how we can inherit n1 into my app class? How we can? By using prototype. Prototype dot, what is the variable? N1 is equals to 100. Now obj dot n1, what is my answer? What is my answer? 100 or not? This is the way we can inherit the members into functional class. So inside this app, how many inherited members are there? How we can see the inherited members of a class? App dot prototype. How we can see the inherited members of a class? App dot prototype. So how many members inherited? N1, one member, but there has one more member also there, constructor. What is this constructor? We'll discuss. Okay, now the same I want to do by using class keyword classes. So tell me how we can. Class A is there. Okay, now create an object for a class. Create an object for a class. Obj dot n1, there or not there? Obj dot n1 is there or not there?
Not there.
Not there. So it gives me undefined, but I want the output is like 100. If you want the output is like 100, this A class should get one member from outside. What is that member? N1. What is the value? N1 is the member. What is the value?
100.
100 is my value. So how one class can get the members from outside? How one class can get the members from outside?
Using prototype
Using.
property.
So how we can? Come on. Okay, which class?
A dot class name
Okay, how we can get? How we can inherit the
using
members into your class?
using prototype
Using
property.
prototype. Using prototype. Which member you want?
N1
N1. N1. What is the value as per your requirement?
100.
100. Okay, now if you call like obj.n1, see, you can get the 100 or not. How we can see the inherited members of a class? How we can see the inherited members of a class? A dot prototype. If I open this one, now see N1 there. Here also you can see the constructor or not. Okay, na? This is the way you can inherit the members into your functional classes or into your class keyword classes or not. If it is like a class keyword classes, there has one more way also there. See how many ways can handle the inheritance in class keyword classes. There has one more way also there. That one is like through extents. So how we can, I have a class A is there. Okay. Inside the class, one variable n1 equals to 10. Okay. Is my variable? Come on. Inside the class, one variable n1 is there. Now I have one class B. Okay, if I create an object for this particular P and call obj.n1, the output is like what? Undefined. The output is like what? Come on. The output is like what? Undefined or not? The output is like undefined. But my question is what, if you want to 10 answer, B should have which variable? B should have which variable? N1.
N1
N1. Okay, that N1 is inside another class. Yes or no? What is that class name? A.
A
Without using prototype, can I inherit this particular N1 equals to 10 from my A to B? Yes, we can. Okay, how we can inherit, Now you can write my class B. Okay, inherit the members from where? Extends from where? Extends from where? Extends from A. Okay, the next one is what? Come on. Can I create an object for which class? B class. Can I create an object for B class? Okay, my obj.n1 is what? 10 or not? Yes or no? That means whatever the members are there in the A class, those are inherited into which class? Those are inherited into which class? B class or not. So we can handle the inheritance if it is like a class keyword class through which keyword? Extends keyword or not? Yes or no? Through extends keyword. Agreed? The next one. So here, if you observe, how many members inherited into my B class? How many members inherited into my B class? How we can come to know? B
prototype.
B dot prototype. But if you come here, see the B dot prototype, it is showing what? A, right? That means my B inherited directly from which class? My B
B
inherited
class.
directly from which class? A class, right? So my B inherited from which class? A class or not? Whatever the A class members are there, those are inherited into my B class. Like that, you can understand. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the way we can inherit the members into my classes. Okay, the class may be functional, that class may be class keyword class also. If it is like a functional, only one option is there. That is which option? That is only one option is there. That is which option? That is prototype. If it
Prototype.
is like a class keyword class, there is two options. One is like using prototype, another one is like using extends keyword or not. Okay, na? Okay. Okay, then. The
Okay.
next one. In the class, if you want to access the members, how we can access? How to
Using prototype.
the members of a class. Access the members of a class. How we can access the members of a class? Members is nothing but variables or methods. How we can access the members of a class?
Using an object.
Using an object. Okay, using an object. So, can I access the members using a class name? Using a class name? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, when I can access the members using the class name? If the members are static members. If the members
Class
are
member.
class members, static members. So how we can, okay, create a static members inside the class. Okay, na? Let's go. First, let's go with the functional class. So my function A, okay. If you create a variable inside the function class, how we can create a variable? This dot current object you have to take this dot n1 equals to 10. Yes or no? This is
Yes.
a static variable or instance variable. It's a static or instance. Static or non-static. Instance is nothing but object. Using an object you created so that it's a instance member. So can I call instance members using a class name? Possible? Can I call instance members using a class name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is yes, sir, my answer should be 10, right? But my 10 is not printed, right? Instance variables we can call using an object. So this is inside the object means you can retrieve using an object only or not? Yes or no? You can retrieve using an object only or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that okay, how we can create a static variable inside the functional classes. Instance variables I don't want static. If you want to create a static variables, can I add a keyword called as a static? If I add like this, it's a syntax error. So how we can create a static variables inside the functional class means there has a way is like this. A dot, what is my static variable? N1 is equals to 10. Like this, you can create what? You can create a class. Inside the class, you can add some data like this. Now, if you access the N1 using the class name, you are able to access or not able to access? You are able to access or not able to access? You are
Very
able
good.
to access or not? So
Able.
tell me how we can create a static variables inside, okay, static members for functional classes. How we can create a static members in functional classes? Okay, you can take your class name dot, okay, you can create a class name dot, the next one is what? Your member, it's a variable, it's a method, that is secondary. Okay, this is the way you can create a static variable and place inside a class. It's a method. Then a dot get name is equals to, it's a method, it's a method. Get name written, for example, such. If it is like a static method, how we can access? A dot get name. If you access using a class name, those members, what we can say? Static members only or not? Yes or no? Up here, okay. So this is the functional class. Class keyword class, can we write it? How we can write the class keyword class? Class A. Okay. Class A already existed, no problem. Refresh it. Now class A. Okay. My A dot F1 or N1 equals to 10. A dot N1. Working or not? If it is like a class keyword classes, this syntax is going to work or not? Yes or no? Now this is the variable. The method, if you want to keep inside the A, that is like a static method. How? A dot F1 equals to function. Okay. Return F1 like this. Now tell me A dot F1. A dot F1 is a method, and we call. Now any method, any function or method, if you call using a class name, those are like what? Static members or not? Those are like a static members or not? Yes or no? Those are like a static members. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then. The
Yes.
next. Another way also there. What is that way? No? My class. Okay. A. Another way I'm talking about. Okay, if it is like a class keyword classes, there has one more way also there to define the static members. How we can, can I write the member n1 equals to 10? Okay, this is which kind of member? Statica, non-statica? If it is static, it should have to come, right? 10. Okay, no. So if it is like a class keyword class, okay, if you want to write like a static member, can I use one of the keyword called as what? Static or not? Yes or no? Static keyword. The same static keyword, will it work for the functional classes? Will it work or not work? The same way, if I write like this, the same way, if I write like this, static n1 equals to 10, what it gives? It gives me what?
Syntax
Yes,
error.
right. Syntax error means that has no reasons. You should have to follow those guidelines. Okay, na? So, class keyword classes, you can create the static members how many ways? Two ways. One is like a dot something you can put it. That is one way. Another one is like inside the class, use a static keyword. That is another way or not. Use a static keyword. That is another way. Okay, okay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay then. So this is the way static variables methods you can create inside the function based class, means functional classes and class keyword classes. The next one is like, what is constructor? When my constructor is going to execute, you know that, okay, Java, Python, okay, you already joined, right, Java batch also. So that constructor is like it's like one method only, but at the time of creating an object, okay, which method executed, that method only we can say what? That method only we can say what? Constructor or not. So first let's go with the functional classes, okay? Function A. Okay. Function A. How many variables, how many methods we can write? Any number of variables, any number of methods you can write it. No problem at all. Any number of variables, any number of methods you can write. Here I'm going to write like console.log A. Done. Console.log of A. Okay, na? Done. A already existed, so that I'm refreshing page. Now come here, done. Now tell me, how we can create an object for this A class? How we can create an object for this A class? How we can create an object for this A class?
Where object equal to new.
Sorry? Go on. Okay, create an object where obj equals to new year, right? Yes or no? Now you create an object for class. See, whenever you create an object, which method executed, that method you can say like a constructor or not. Whenever you create an object, which method got executed, that method we can say like what? That method we can say like what? Constructor or not. Yes or no? That method we can say like a constructor or not.
Yes.
Okay, now tell me here, this body executed, right? That the reason A printed. So this A called at the time of creating an object or not. So here A plays dual role. A is a functional class. Whenever you create an object, this method only called or not. So that my A is like what? One is like functional class. Another one is like, another role is like what? At the time of creating an object also, it is going to execute it. It might think what? Constructor or not. So here, my functional class A playing dual role. One is like functional class, another one is like constructor also or not. That the reason my functional classes, another name terminology wise, constructor classes also. Terminology wise, my functional class is what we can say. Terminology wise, we can say like a constructor class also. Understood everyone? Up there okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes,
how we
sir.
can say constructor class? My A is acting like the two roles. One is like functional class. At the time of creating an object, it is called like a method also. So whenever you create an object, which method is called, that method we can say like what? Constructor or not. So that my A is a functional class as well as my A is like a constructor also. That the reason, okay, this particular class is what we can say constructor classes or not. Agreed. What about class keyword classes? What about class keyword classes? How we can write the variables and methods? N1 equals to 10. No? Okay. Now, if I write like this, console.log of, okay, A. Now done. Syntactically, A has already there. That's okay. Refresh the page. Refresh the page. Now, A is where obj equals to new A. Now see, is it called or not called? A printed or not printed while creating an object?
Not
Not.
printed.
Java, my constructor name is like a class name, but JavaScript not like that. In JavaScript, which method is acting like a constructor? You know, the method name is, my method name is, what is the method name? What is the method name? My method name itself constructor or not? See this. The method name itself constructor or not. If you want to create a constructor in the class keyword classes, what is the method name? Constructor only. But in the functional classes, my constructor and my class both are like same. That the reason, okay, those classes we can say like a constructor classes. But in the class keyword classes, okay, my constructor name is what? Constructor only. My constructor name is like what? Constructor only. Understood? Go on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here, okay, can I write some questions? What is constructor? Constructor. Okay. In functional class, which one? Which method acting like constructor? In the class keyword classes, class keyword classes, how to create a constructor in the class keyword classes, how you can create a constructor. The next one is Why we go for? What is the use? What construct is going to handle? What constructor? What kind of functionality? Functionality constructor handle. Okay. By default, which method inherited into classes in JavaScript? That class can be anything. By default, which method inherited into class in JavaScript? Class A. Okay, this is the class A dot prototype. By default, which one is inherited? Which method inherited by default?
Constructor.
Constructor.
Or not. You can take a functional class. You can take a functional class. By default, which one is inherited? Which method is inherited? Constructor or
Constructor.
not? Okay, my constructor is available to each and every class by default or not? Yes or no? Okay, why we go for constructor? What my constructor is going to do? What my constructor is going to do? The constructor is handle what you know. It allocate the memory for the variables and perform initialization. Okay, it allocate the memory for the variables. Okay, see how where n1 equals to 10, where n1 equals to 10. How it allocate the memory for the variables in JavaScript? Okay, it's like a dynamical type of programming language. Okay, it is like allocate the memory and place some value that particular memory location pointing with what? Pointing with my n1 or not? Yes or no? So what my constructor is going to do is, it is going to allocate the memory at the time of creating an object. It is going to allocate the memory and perform initialization. To whom it allocate the memory? It allocate the memory for the variable and perform initialization. The value what he assigned, that value only initialized or not. So constructor is going to do what in any programming language? Okay, it is going to allocate the memory for each and every variable and perform initialization or not. Yes or no? Who is going to do that one? Constructor is going to handle that. Okay, now come on.
Yes, sir.
So OOPS concept, okay, OOPS concepts, which are come under OOPS concepts, you know, okay. One is like encapsulation. Okay, the next one is like inheritance. The next one is like polymorphism. The next one is like abstraction. These four concepts, top level, we can say these are like OOPS concepts. Encapsulation is nothing but what, you know, binding variables and methods in a single entity. Tell me, binding variables and method in a single entity, I can say like a encapsulated that particular program. So how, where we can see the variables and methods in a single entity? The class, right? So encapsulation is come under, okay, encapsulation implemented means you return some class. The next one is like what? Inheritance. Get the members from, okay, outside into my class. Okay, if it is like a class keyword class, get the members from another class into my class or not? Yes or no? What is polymorphism? See, these are the common, okay. I already told to you at the time of Python sessions. Inheritance concepts are like common for any programming language, but the syntax is like something vague. Yes or no? Tell me, what is inheritance? Okay, inheritance, what is polymorphism? What is polymorphism?
One form in many form.
Okay, one form in one form. Okay, poly is nothing but what? Many, right?
Many.
Poly is nothing but many. Many. Okay, morphism. Morphs means forms. It's like a forms. Okay, means polymorphism means many forms. Many forms. Yes or no? So one person is acting like multiple roles. Okay, that means he is going to perform or handle multiple roles. Okay, for example, best example, if you see plus, okay, it is only one symbol. That's it. But if I write this, if I use this one a plus b, if my a is like 10 plus 20, it's like a addition operator. If I write like 10 plus 20, then that time it is acting like what? Concatenation or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, only one form. Okay, just we can use like acting like multiple roles. Okay, poly means many forms. Poly means many. Morphs means multiple forms. Okay, so the which concepts come under polymorphism? You know, the which concepts come under polymorphism? Okay, overloading. Overloading. The next one is like what? Overriding. Overloading and overriding. What is overloading? Okay, one form. Okay, multiple ways, right? Okay, many forms. What is overloading? Method name is same. Okay, only one method, but okay, signature is different. What is signature? Signature is nothing but three things you can consider: number of arguments.
Number of arguments.
The next one is like type of
Type
argument.
of arguments.
The next one is like order of argument.
Order.
So any one of this one satisfied, yes, those methods you can say like a polymorph. Okay, that means those methods you can say like a overloaded methods. So in JavaScript, overloading is going to work or not work, you can check it. Function f1 is there. Okay, na? Here a comma b comma c is there. Console.log of a plus b plus c, just c. Okay, na? Now here there has one more. There has one more. Okay, na? There has one more. Total, how many are there? Methods. 3 methods. Name is what? Name is same or not?
Same.
Method name is same or not? Method name
Same.
is. Okay. Now come on, method name is same. Okay. The next one is like what?
Signature is
Signature is
different.
different or not? Here
Yes.
number of arguments 3, number of arguments 2, number of argument is like 1. Signature is different or not? So these are like polymorphism methods. Okay, that means overloaded methods. Now f1 of 10 comma 20 comma 30. What is my answer? Actual answer, what you're expecting? I'm expecting like 60, but the answer is like 10. Why? You know, in JavaScript there is no there is no overloading concept. Why? Because okay, number of arguments I can differentiate, but order I am not able to differentiate. Why? Because type is not there. The next one is like a type also I'm not able to differentiate. Why? Because type itself not there in JavaScript for the variables or not. So partially satisfied signature but not fully, then the type there has a confusion, right? If it is satisfied fully, that's okay. Partially it is like satisfied. That the reason, okay, they're not considered the arguments list in JavaScript like Python. In JavaScript, if you not consider the arguments list, f1 you created again the same f1, so that this one is override by this one, and you created again f1, so this one is override by this one or not. So finally, which f1 is there? This f1 is there. This f1 contains how many arguments? One argument only. So f1 of 10, 20, 30, it's take only one argument. That argument only is printed or not? Yes or no? So finally, what you can conclude, overloading concept is there or not there in JavaScript means yes. Okay, overloading concept is not there. Why? Because okay, the signature is not completely satisfied, partially satisfied. Number of arguments only satisfied. Type and order is not satisfied because in JavaScript there is no type for the variable. So overloading concept is not there in JavaScript. Understood? But the definition is this one. What is overriding? simply existing functionality, simply existing functionality, you can override it, you can override it. So existing one function, you can take it. Okay, alert of ss, if I write like this is the existing functionality, it's a JavaScript functionality. Open this message in the alert box, yes or no? I'm not satisfied with this particular functionality. Tell me, if you see this one, alert is which type? Which take how many parameters? One parameter. Okay, this is my alert. Alert is like a function, it's take one parameter. Now here, can I write like console.log of msg? Now see, previous functionality who written? JavaScript people already written. Now here I'm not satisfied, that the reason again I alert, again I override the alert or not. Now if I override the alert, now see the previous functionality, show the message in the pop-up, that is override by my own functionality or not. So overriding concept, existing functionality can override in JavaScript. That is one thing. The next one is like alert is a function. So the method heading is same. JavaScript people written the definition for the alert box. But here I written the definition like console. My method heading is same, but the definition is different or not. Method heading is same, but the definition is different. That one we can say like a overriding. Okay, simply if you want to understand, existing functionality can override in JavaScript. So overriding is like satisfied in JavaScript. This is only the proof. Alert, I'm not satisfied, so that I override with my own functionality. Now onwards, alert is not working like existing. Okay, pop-up and everything. Now onwards, it's showing like a console message or not. Agreed? All right, okay. So overriding concept, overriding concept, will it work or not work in JavaScript? Yes.
Works.
Okay. What about abstraction? Hide the implementation, but providing the services. Okay, abstraction is nothing but hide the implementation, but providing the services. Interfaces and abstract classes, those all are coming to the, okay, here only. But interfaces and abstract class or abstract methods, not directly in the JavaScript. In the TypeScript we have, but you can understand like functions. Okay, see, if you write one function, my function, okay, function, whatever the definition you want to write, you can write it based on your, okay, functionality. Okay, here, whenever the person who requires this particular functionality fn, okay, let him call by passing this particular name, but what you implemented, that is not shared with this guy or not. So just he can use the functionality, but you should not share what you implemented or not. So hide the implementation, but providing the services, those are possible using functions like this or not. Yes or no? Hide the implementation, but providing the services. The abstraction, okay, we implemented, okay, using, okay, interfaces, using abstract methods, using methods, functions like this. Okay, whenever you create some functionality with one function, who want that particular functionality, he can directly call the function name, but you should not show what he implemented in that particular function or not. You hide the implementation, but providing the service, what he is expecting by calling that particular function or not. Grida? Come on. Up to here, okay? Okay, so up to here done. Just complete all these OOPS concepts today. Okay, tomorrow on the OOPS concepts only, I'm going to give some examples. So we'll see that one. So as I said, okay, weekends we are not take our sessions next. This is only last weekend session. Okay, December, right? Okay, let me show you that. Okay, the next session when. Today is like 22nd, right? 23rd, right? Today's date is, what is the date today?
21st.
21st, huh? Yeah, 21st. 26th onwards. 26th onwards, you can join at 7:30. Okay, Marin stack, okay? MERN static
Okay.
in Java. Okay, these are the concepts we are going to use in the React. So MERN, MongoDB, Node with Express, and React. Okay, so tomorrow we complete this one. Okay, so for what we discussed, those are enough to learn your React. Okay, remaining JavaScript topics we are going to cover in the MERN class. Okay. Okay, complete all. Okay, I'm going to share these questions with you. Okay, just you can answer these questions. Okay, just you can answer these questions. Okay, okay then. Thank you guys.